Okay, the time has come. I'm going to do it. Someone said you're going to have another baby. I don't want to say her name, I've just said the girl's name out loud. Someone has said you are a little stuck up. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I am reading your assumptions about me. I've been obsessed with watching these videos and I've kind of felt a bit reluctant to do it myself because I've been a bit nervous. I don't know, I was like thinking, oh god, what if I read something and I don't like it? But maybe that's part and parcel of this whole thing. It's maybe to learn the way that you come across. So yeah, I either want to confirm things or put things to right that maybe you assume about me. So yeah, I asked you on Instagram and I'm going to answer. Oh god, right, okay. Let's just go for it. Okay, so the first question that I found says, you have found going from 1 to 2 children relatively easy. You're a fantastic mum, by the way. Right, so I did find it, I have to admit, I feel like I've sold people the dream of 2 children. I found the first year of motherhood with 2 kids so easy for 2 reasons. Ella was very beyond her years when it came to being a 2-year-old. She was almost like a 3-year-old now, if that makes sense. I don't feel she's changed too much in personality over the last year. So she was really easy as a toddler in that kind of terrible twos scene. I found it kind of in the later stage of my pregnancy with Charlie. She did show more of those sort of like tantrumy sides. And then once I had him, I don't know if it was because I was more focused on looking after a baby and she was helping me with that we didn't really have the same chance for her to be difficult. So yeah, I think as well when you've got 2 young children, you kind of have no other option than to either be really organised and get yourself out of the house, or you kind of feel like your whole day just slips from you. So I was always very conscious of making sure that I had everything organised the night before. I knew what I was doing, I kept a diary, I made appointments, I set alarms on my phone. I was very organised. Actually, the way that I was organised then puts me to shame now. I actually find that I was more organised then with the 2 younger versions of Ella and Charlie than what I am now. So yeah, I did find the transition going from 1 to 2 pretty smooth. Charlie just slept for about a year and then woke up on his first birthday and he's like kind of started having tantrums from kind of 1 till now. He is settling down now, it has to be said, but I think a lot of it stems from frustration because he wants to speak, and he's only really started properly speaking in the last maybe 2 months. So yeah, Ella was speaking, I mean you've seen the videos probably, she was chatting very quickly. And that's probably most of the reason why she was an easier child at that age. So yeah, that kind of like year when it was 2017 into 2018 was less of a challenge than I thought it was. And obviously I was also off on maternity leave. So I found that I was meeting up with friends more, I was meeting up with family more, and we were doing things every day. So it just kind of like naturally became a bit easier, I suppose. You managed to keep on top of everything around your house. It always looks spick and span. Yes and no. We do work as a team, Fraser and I. We try and make sure we don't have much mess, and I would like to think that more often than not the rooms are tidy. Like at the moment there are things sitting about. I've got a hairdryer down there, I've got shoes over there, I've got a carpet cleaner over there, but we try not to get too stressed out about it. One thing I would say is we definitely tidy as we go. I hate going to bed without the downstairs tidy. I just think there's nothing worse than waking up in the morning and going downstairs and everything's still there. I always say it, don't make today's mess. This one's an interesting one. So someone's asked me or said to me that I'm not afraid of failure. You had the confidence to start YouTube with such natural confidence. I wouldn't say that I'm not afraid of failure. I actually think that I am afraid of failure, and that's why I try to put as much into things so that I don't fail. But I kind of like try and make sure in my head that if I've got a goal, then I make it like realistically attainable so that I always feel like the glass is half full, if that makes sense. I hope that doesn't come across too preachy, but yeah, I probably am afraid of failure. Someone said to me that I wanted kids from a young age. I definitely always seen myself as having children and being a mum, But if you asked my mum and dad, they used to laugh because I would say, you know, Fraser and I won't have kids until we're well in our 30s. We want to just enjoy ourselves. But I don't know if I was saying that as a kind of, I don't know, it was almost like a defence mechanism, or like a, not defence, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't really think of the word I'm looking for. It was almost like self-preservation, because I really wanted to have kids, but I didn't really know when would be the right time. I used to always just put it off and say we won't have them until we're older, just because I didn't want to say that I wanted them in the next 5 years and then that never happened. Probably ties into that whole I'm scared of failure thing, because I just don't like to kind of set targets in life and then not really meet them. Someone said you're going to have another baby. I don't know, I mean, really, see if we could afford it. If we were multi-millionaires and we had lots of rooms and we could afford to, then I would have as many children as I could afford, genuinely would. I would have 5 kids if I could. That sounds crazy, right? But I definitely would. I just love being a mum. I love having the kids. I find them such entertainment, and I always think that although I did struggle having Ella and then having Charlie, and that kind of like mum guilt thing of having another baby, I think that having now seen them as siblings together and running around soft play and just chasing after each other, if there was one more into that mix, like how good would that be? They would all have their own little immediate group of friends within their family, and like holidays and all that would be great. But again, it's all money, because I think if we can't really afford to have another baby, are we just limiting the experiences that we can have as a family, like maybe going on holidays or travelling, or them going to clubs, like dancing and football is expensive. So yeah, I don't know, I think we're definitely thinking about it. We'll never say never. Yeah, come back to me in 20 years time when I've got a family of 5 children. Do you know, this sounds a bit big-headed, right? But loads of you have come back saying that I'm really down to earth and really lovely. I'd like to think I'm down to earth. I'd like to think that I am just a normal person, which is one of the reasons why I actually struggle is probably a bit serious, but I kind of don't know how to deal with if I meet any of you guys when I'm out. So if I ever go to the shops and someone comes up and says, oh look, I watch your videos, I'm kind of like, oh god, you must think I'm like so entitled that you should come over and speak to me, but it's totally not like that. It's just a weird feeling. It's almost like having a group of friends that you've never really met, and then it's also difficult because a lot of you come over and speak to me and I don't really know much about you, but you know everything about me. So yeah, it always makes me feel a bit weird. This is hilarious. Someone's asked me or said that I have a big sweet tooth. Oh my god, like the worst. I think I've inherited this from my granddad. He has the biggest sweet tooth, like literally eats sweets all day, hard boiled sweets in a jar. I am exactly the same. I love chocolate, I love sweets. Honestly, like sugar addiction is a thing, and yeah, I would definitely say that I've had that and still maybe do have that at some point in my life. Yes, I definitely have a sweet tooth. This is so funny, right? But I don't want to say her name, I've just said the girl's name out loud. Someone has said you are a little stuck up. I don't think I am. Like, ask anyone of my friends, like I'm not stuck up whatsoever. Quite the opposite actually. I don't really know how to answer this without coming across as very self-righteous and oh, I'm not stuck up. My nana always used to say things to me like, never lower your standards, and I think it's so true. It's not that you're looking down on other people, it's just that you want to be the best person you can be. So I don't think that I'm stuck up, but I definitely would say that I want my kids to speak well, I want them to be mannerly, I'd like to think that I'm mannerly myself. I wouldn't say I'm stuck up, not whatsoever. I don't think that that's something that I am. I'm not really sure what context you mean it in, but I would never think that I'm stuck up, no. Especially if you've heard me talking in real life off of camera, all the sweary words that I say, definitely not stuck up whatsoever. So someone has said you enjoy the finer things in life. I suppose it depends what you think the finer things are in life. I don't know, I mean, I am a massive fan of like Poundland, cheapest of the cheap, but I do like nice things. So this kind of coincides with another question that someone had said, or another assumption somebody made, is that they thought I was materialistic. So I suppose materialistic is not really a great word to use for what I'm trying to say, because for me materialistic means that all you're concerned about is how you look, and it's totally not, that's not really me. but I am concerned with how I look, but it's not the be all and end all. So what I mean by that is that I really love, because I'm such a Virgo, right? I'm a Virgo, that's my star sign, and see if you read it, it is exactly what I'm like. Artistic, perfectionist, like strive for things, like all of those characteristics are definitely totally me. So I think for things like the house, I love it to look a certain way. I just like to look at things and they're visually pleasing. So that includes outfits, makeup. I just love getting up in the morning and putting my makeup on and doing my hair and feeling like the best version of myself, putting on a nice outfit, putting the kids in nice stuff, having all of us feel and look good. But I can see how that might come across as materialistic. One thing I would say though is that everything we kind of buy, I like to try and get on a budget, but then there are like some slight things. Like I have three designer handbags. That's like the 3 bags that I use all the time because I'm trying to be more minimalistic with stuff. So I thought best probably to buy the bags that I really like, and keep them and use them all the time. Same with trainers. I have like 2 pair of trainers that I wear constantly, but those are the things that I tend to buy as like a little splurge. But in general living, I don't try and spend a lot of money on stuff, if that makes sense. So yeah, I suppose you could say that I am materialistic, if I'm being honest, but just not in a bad way. Like I don't think I'm materialistic in the sense that I would then cast judgment on other people who aren't like me, if that makes sense. But yeah, I suppose if you're being completely honest, I probably am quite materialistic. Is that a bad thing? This is something I actually touched on in Insta stories not long ago. And this assumption is that I'm very tall, that you're only 4'8" and you picture me being about 6 foot. Everyone thinks I'm really tall. I don't know what it is. I'm taking it as a compliment, to be honest, because I find I'm quite short and dumpy. I'm 5'5", but so many people when you meet me in real life go, God, you're much shorter than I thought. So yeah, everyone thinks I'm really tall, but I'm definitely not. I'm 5'5". You would never accidentally turn all the kids' white socks grey. I'm sorry, but I would. I'm not like the best when it comes to washing, as in being careful what I put in. I do have a lights and a darks basket, like the kind of divider one, but I have a lot of socks. In fact, Fraser said this to me last night. The socks I had on, he was like, can you please bin them? They are disgusting. Look at the colour of them. They're like off-white grey. Get them in the bin. You've had them for about 2 years. Bin them. So yeah, I would definitely turn the white socks grey, I'm afraid. People are saying that I'm organised or a perfectionist. That's come up quite a few times. Yeah, I try to be as organised as I can. Now, Mum, if you're watching this, you're probably like, no, she's not, because she is the queen of being organised. Like literally, my mum gives you something and it'll be laminated in a Polly Pocket with a little post-it on it saying what it's for. She is the queen of organisation, and if I've taken one thing from living there, it's like some bits of her organisational skills. Like I try to make sure that all my week's planned in my diary. Like I said before, I set alarms, I put in my calendar on my phone. I make sure that if I've not laid the kids' outfits out the night before, that I have an idea of what I'm putting on them in the morning. So stuff like that, like I'm very organised with things like getting out the house. But in terms of like work stuff, it kind of is difficult because I have to fit filming in between times where my mum's got Charlie and Ella's at nursery, so I kind of I'm forced to be organised, I suppose. But yeah, I would love to consider myself as an organised person. Perfectionist, probably yes, to my detriment. Actually, probably one of my biggest bugbears is being a perfectionist, because I put so much pressure on myself, I suppose. Someone said that I don't want another baby, but I've already covered that before, obviously. This is a good one. So someone has assumed that I don't overspend on stuff that I don't need, and that I'm good at managing money. You could not be more right. Like literally, I do not overspend on things that I know I can save money on. I would never go and buy a spray that I can get for £1 in Poundland out of somewhere else for like £2. I would literally make sure that I went to the right shop to get the cheapest price. But when it comes to things like, I don't know, like a bit of clothing or a bag or something really nice, I will buy myself the odd nice splurgy bit, but then save on everything else. So I suppose it's a bit of a balance, isn't it? This next one's good. I assume you have a secret talent, like being able to sing really well or something. Do you know, it's actually a bit of a shame, but I used to be a pretty alright dancer, and then I went into retirement once I got a car. And it was funny because my mum always laughs and says that she went like 4 times a week to the other side of Glasgow to drop me at dancing for years, like literally since I was like 12. For 5 or 6 years she used to drop me at dancing, and as soon as I passed my test I gave up. So yeah, I used to be a good dancer. I used to be on different competitions and do shows, and I've danced in Disney at the World's Competition for Dance, done that twice. What else have we done? This sounds a bit braggy, but it's just quite funny how you think I've got a talent. But I suppose I should be proud of these things. Like, I did an eyebrow advert, we were on Britain's Got Talent, there was a whole host of things we did with dancing, and I absolutely loved it. And I'm so happy that Ella's also shown such an interest in dance, because it was a massive, and still kind of is, like, it's got a part of my heart, a massive part of my life. So yeah, I suppose people have said things like, you are very easy with your kids, you're quite a relaxed mum, and you don't lose patience with them. Now, I'd like to think that with the kids I definitely pick my battles. I'm quite firm with them, believe it or not. Like, ask friends of mine. There was a particular moment at our wedding when I gave Ella into trouble, but I whispered like in her ear. So we're on the dance floor, and then I seen her misbehaving, obviously just so much happening in the day. And I just kind of spoken to her and I said, like, that's enough, just stop now. And it was the first time that one of our friends, Tam, had seen me giving them into trouble, and he was like, I just never thought you were like that. I thought, well, you have to be sometimes. It's just part and parcel of being a mum, I suppose. You've always got to give them into trouble at some point. And because we were having such a good day and she was being so good, I just didn't want that ruining the day. So if you nip it quickly, I always find it works best. Charlie's different, of course, because he's at that age where the word no is just like a non-starter, but he will get there. I think that, especially having 2 kids, you've got the politics of making sure they behave individually but also behave with each other, and a lot of the time I just let them try and sort it out themselves, because otherwise you would just be on their case all day long. But yeah, I would say that I am quite a calm mum with them, but don't get me wrong, sometimes I am screaming inside thinking, oh, just stop what you're doing. But I know that if I make a big deal of it, it'll then be like a sit on time out, crying, tears, snotters, and it's actually not worth it. See, for whatever it is that'll blow over in 2 minutes, it's totally not worth it. So I always just try and pick my battles. Normally if it's stuff relating to me, I'm quite happy to just let it chill, but if it's things relating to other people, like grandparents or whatever, which is very seldom, I have to say, the kids are really good, like especially with other people, because they're used to us all the time, that we kind of are probably the only people that get the cheek, if you like, but it's very few and far between. And if they do act up, it's normally because they're just learning. So I always try and remember that they're still young, so probably all the shouting stuff still to happen when they do real proper bad stuff when they get bigger. So yeah, I'm just saving all the shouty moments for then, I suppose. See, to be fair, I can kind of give the kids one look and they know. It kind of goes something like this. Yeah, so someone else has said that I'm really totally sound and down to earth and fab pants on a night out. Well, I would like to think I'm a good laugh, but not too forced. Like, I enjoy a night out. I enjoy being with people who are the same as me. I find that if there's people who are very similar, like in personality, I definitely bounce off them. So for example, if we went to like London on a wee sleepover thing with a lot of my vlogging pals, then we'll have a good laugh then. If I'm out with like a group of my friends, or like for example my hen do, then I would definitely be like a good laugh, I suppose. Oh, it sounds really cringe when I say it out loud, but yeah, I'm definitely up for a good laugh on a night out. I'm always the one that's the loudest, like laughing in the room. Yeah, I've got an annoying laugh as well, which is not the best. I've had quite a few of these, right? But someone has said that I have come from a very, very wealthy family, which is such an assumption to make. Now, I feel like I can't answer this without putting my mum and dad down, but we are not like absolutely loaded, like we're not millionaires, but my mum and dad have worked so hard in their life. Like, they have given me and my brother everything we've ever wanted. We've been so lucky. They've set us up for a life, and for that, like, I will always be forever grateful. I've not been born with like the silver spoon. at all. Like, we're just totally normal, but everything my mum and dad have got, they've worked hard for, and yeah, we're just very grateful to them. But we didn't come from like a super duper millionaire family. We just came from a really, really nice family that I'm very, very happy to be a part of, and just totally love my mum and dad to bits. So a few of you have assumed this, that I am a girl's girl, 100%. I just always think that, see that kind of like cliquey, bitchy, I don't know, like sly looks and stuff, it's just totally not me whatsoever. I think there's nothing worse than that type of person, and I'm definitely a girl's girl. Like, see if I see somebody doing well for themselves, or making money, or moving into a new house, or having a baby, or getting married, I'm like, yes, go you. If I see like a pal of mine, or even someone I don't know, taking a really nice picture of themselves and posing, I'm like, hell yes, if you're feeling yourself, then you do that. Like, totally 100% I'm for it. I just think that there's so many people out there that'll be ready to shoot you down, and I suppose since I've had Ella especially, I'm like, I want to be the person that I would want her to be when she's older, so that she knows what to act like with other girls. Like, don't be bitchy, don't be competitive, don't be horrible, like, be each other's best friends. It's just the best way to be, and I think if more people were like that, then this world would be a happier place. Like, if I see someone doing well for themselves, I'm genuinely happy for them. Like, could not even tell you if someone is, yeah, I think if anyone's doing well for themselves and they're happy, then I'm happy for them. Yeah. You're kind towards everyone you meet. I would like to think so. Like, see a lot of the things you guys are saying, I'm really hoping that they are true, like, because that's the kind of way that I would like to be. I would always like to be welcoming to somebody. I would never have somebody come into, I would always like to be welcoming and kind to people, and see if there's ever been a point where I've found that I wasn't nice to somebody, or that maybe I wasn't as welcoming to somebody as what I should have been in the first time of meeting them. I've actually made a point of saying to them, like, by the way, the first time I've met you, I was not as like much me as I wanted to be, and like, I'll address it like 100%. But yeah, that's something that I suppose comes with age as well, like knowing when you should right a wrong, I suppose. Yeah, I've answered that a totally different angle than what was intended, but you catch my drift. This one's interesting. You are a lovely person, very much real, not putting on a front for Insta, YouTube, and hard working. So I'd like to think I am hardworking. I think being a parent in general, just looking after and being responsible for another person, is very hard work, because you're always trying to make sure you're doing the right thing, making the right decisions, etc. But being real is one of my most key points. The only thing I find sometimes isn't as real with me as I would like it to be is sometimes I find myself subconsciously doing this, where I'm almost like putting on a telephone voice to speak on YouTube. This video especially, I don't think I'm doing that at all, but some videos I find, especially if I think it's a video that might reach more people than just in like the Glasgow area, if you like, or Scotland, or people who would understand my accent, sometimes I find myself consciously slowing down because I'm speaking in a telephone voice on the camera, because I want to be accessible to people. I would hate for someone to come across my video and then turn off because they don't understand me. So it's kind of a frustrating part about doing this. And a lot of people say, like, you know, I think you should have more subscribers than what you have, but I honestly think a lot of that is down to the fact that people can't understand my accent. Really do. Like, people have actually said to me before, I don't know what language you're speaking. I'm like, babe, it's English. This one's good as well. You are happiest at home with your family. I would definitely say yes. Like, I actually find now I get a little bit anxious going into groups of people that I don't really know, which is stupid, I know, but I don't think it's got anything to do with anything other than getting older, first of all, and it's kind of out of my comfort zone, and secondly, since doing YouTube. So when I meet somebody who knows that I do YouTube, I kind of expect them to expect me to be this like larger than life character, even though that's not what I'm like on YouTube. I'm just normal, I would think. So I kind of like build this up in my head, like, oh my god, I'm going to be this massive disappointment, like people are going to think I'm really boring. And yeah, I just think that I kind of build it up in my own head so that people aren't going to think that I'm anything worth speaking to, because I'm not like like leery and out there, and yeah, I sometimes get a little bit kind of anxious about going to things, which is why sometimes I don't go to events unless I know a lot of people there that are going. So yeah, I think sometimes being a mum makes me feel like I'm a little bit boring, I suppose. So I do love being at home with the kids and with Fraser, and even when our friends come round, I just love that type of setup, or being with my family of course as well. Like, I like the kind of nice comfort blanket that they all provide me, I suppose. So guys, not too bad, it has to be said. I mean, there could be more that come in shortly, I don't know, but let me just check before I go. Yeah, the last one I've actually got to laugh. It says, "You're down to earth and like a gin." On that one, I'm going to end it. The answer is yes. Yeah, anyway guys, I hope you've enjoyed watching this. If there are any other kind of like chatty videos that you fancy me filming, then please let me know below, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.